What is going on, lovely people? Welcome to the first and official episode of the Edit to Real podcast. I'm Nikki.
And I am Chris, coming at you from opposite sides of Canada.
Chris, I guess for the first episode, we'll just kick it off by introducing who we are, what we do, and then we'll jump right into it. Hopefully this podcast is going to be like hanging out with your two girlfriends we're just different. Yeah. Almost in every way.
Yeah, I thought that's why this would be like a really good option for us is two very different people from two different cities across Canada. And we're just gonna get together and chat. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we love each other, and we hope that you'll grow to love us too. So keep listening to our podcast.
We're delightful. It's gonna be great.
Exactly. It's going to be so great. Minus that besides the point that this is the fourth time that we're recording this fucking pilot episode.
Yeah.
No joke.
We'll get into that. We'll get into the struggles of podcast making. But Nikki, tell us about you. Let's tell these fine people about you and who you are.
All right. I'm Nikki. I live in Vancouver. I live in Vancouver, born and raised. I come from a very, very traditional Asian household. I am the eldest of three, so I have a younger brother and a younger sister. And it's an interesting dynamic, you know. I'm closer to my sister than I am my brother. We don't have much in common. He plays a lot of video games. I'm not really into that. What else? Yes, I went to school at Emily Carr. I went to Emily Carr University. I also went to Langara. Me and Chris both have arts degrees.
Yay, useless art degrees.
I have a certificate.
Okay, let's relax. You're an artiste. You are an artiste, and you have a certificate in being a boss.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, and what else is there? I guess one of the main reasons why I wanted to start this podcast was because I realized that not everybody is like me. And especially Chris. Chris is the exact opposite of everything that I am.
I mean, we've got if we're pretty if we were Venn diagrams, there would just be a tiny overlapping oval in the middle, just like a bebe one. We've got some similarities.
Ooh. Yes, that's a good visual. That is definitely a good visual. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I like the color green, and I like turtles.
I love that.
No joke. I have turtle stuffies everywhere.
That's so funny. That's hilarious.
But I'm a bad bitch. When you see me on the street, if you don't know me, I have the worst case of resting bitch face. And it's so true, because you can even see it in our lovely cover art. I have a resting bitch, and then Chris is smiling all the time.
I look like a Muppet, which is so funny because that's a complete dichotomy to who I am in day-to-day life. I'm a Torontonian through and through. I'm forever angry about something, and I'm forever a grump. I'm a grump for everything. I'm a grump if there's a line at the coffee shop. I'm a grump when I have to get on the bus and there's a lineup of people waiting to get on. I'm just a grump perpetually.
You look so smiley all the time, though. Do you realize you're just you look like a ball of sunshine?
I look like a Muppet. And I look like a proper Muppet.
But then I'm super enthusiastic on the inside, but on the outside I look like death. I like, my favorite color is green, but I love black. I like black clothing. I think that's the most color in my wardrobe is just black.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I feel that's also because we're low maintenance people to a certain extent. Black goes with everything. You just put it on, and it's just it's fine. It works.
I like how you say that we're low maintenance, but it's funny because I always get the comment that I look like I'm high maintenance. But trust me, I am super low maintenance.
As am I.
I might look like it. I
have the skincare routine of a 13-year-old boy. So, I mean, yikes.
I only shop at one place. I'm loyal to Aritzia, and that's it. I only shop at Aritzia.
A Vancouverite stereotype.
I've convinced myself to buy luxury brand shoes because the quality is better and it lasts longer than the Aldo heels that I have. Like I can buy shoes from Aldo and they'll probably break within like half a year.
Yeah.
With the amount of walking I do from work. But then my red bottoms,
Jesus.
my Valentinos, I can always resole them and they'll last me a while. So I've convinced myself that luxury goods actually save me money in the long run. So I can see why people think I'm high maintenance just by visually looking at me. But actually, in reality, I'm super low maintenance. You can take me on a first date to McDonald's. I'm down for those fries.
I love that. Those fries are godly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. But Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that I'm a tried and true born and raised Torontonian, I work in a store. I am a manager. I run pretty much an adult daycare most of the day. In the other half of my life, I get to use my degree just like a bebe amount. I graduated with a English Lit degree from the University of Toronto, and I write comedy in the other half of my life. Like I studied at Second City. I wrote for a couple sketch troupes over there. I had like a really great time. I met a lot of awesome people. I worked on a bunch of really cool projects. And now I needed a creative outlet. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do a podcast. Let's do it. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be so much fun. This is basically a drunken dream come
just
true.
A fever dream of many feelings just in reality.
We met
Yes.
2 years ago when I went to Toronto for the first time for work. I actually went out there to train. I am actually a lease manager at a car dealership.
So fancy.
So I went out to Toronto. Chez fancy. I went out to the Toronto dealerships just to share best practices, and my good friend from high school actually moved out to Toronto, so I actually was able to meet up with her, and she introduced me to Chris, and we met at a cute little bar. Shout out to Watson's.
Yes, Miss Hannah Watson, who owns and runs Watson's on Spadina in Richmond. A good time, a good place, and a heavy hand.
Yes, we met on karaoke night.
Oh, heavy hand. So she's got a
yes.
heavy hand. That plays into the story later, I promise.
It was karaoke night. It's gonna play into the story right now. It was karaoke night. I met Chris for the very first time through Jonah.
Hey, Joe.
Hi, Jonah. And I forgot. Because I had this one drink that was super heavy. I'm a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. Chris doesn't drink. Here's another opposite fun fact.
I don't. Yes, I grew up in a very like traditionally like strict Christian household. So we didn't drink, we didn't smoke. Well, I mean, I still don't. So we literally were raised into nunneries. So I'm as boring comes in terms of partying.
Baby, you pure. That's what it is. You untouched.
Sure.
Untouched.
Yikes. Yikes. That is a way to put it.
Yeah, so I got hammered pretty much because I don't have the enzyme to break down alcohol in my body. That I am allergic to alcohol. So I had totally forgotten the interaction that I had with Chris. Totally forgot until
very fair.
Until 2 years after. So last December, I went back to visit Jonah, and I met Chris for the second time, and I was like, like, oh my God. Yes, you. I remember you. And once again, I got drunk. Long story short, sangria was involved. I drank half of it.
Yes.
And I was...
Sangria in the winter time. Yep.
We made it happen. I was like, Chris, let us start a podcast.
Yes, and then a couple drunken hazes and a drunken Uber ride later, and here we are.
Yes. If it wasn't for this quarantine time, I think it would have taken us longer to start this podcast because we're both so...
I think you mean quarantine. Trademark. TM?
No.
Ting.
But it would have taken us longer to get this together because of the sheer fact that we both work in sales. Like,
Yes.
I'm sure that, Chris, you agree. We have schedules, yes, but a lot of the times we still go into work on our days off to take care of things, or we
100%.
stay late, we go in early. And that's the commitment that we made to each other with this podcast, is that we're going to try to be consistent. We're going to have new episodes for you every Tuesday so you can follow along with our antics and ask us questions. Basically, this podcast is hopefully going to be one where we can shed some light with our different viewpoints, our different lifestyles. Me being your typical Vancouver, I have been labeled ABG or basic bitch, which it doesn't offend me because it is pretty spot on. But then,
oh my god,
yeah, and then Chris being your straight up Bible girl. Never done anything bad in her life.
Nope.
Always leaves room for Jesus, so no boys has touched her.
Always.
Yeah.
Yikes. I mean, yeah. That's a way of saying it. But yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, and I'm jaded as fuck at this point. So it's a different take on life. And if you and so we're hoping that this podcast is going to be one where we can share our ideas about stuff and how we see things differently. So you know what? Ask us questions. Ask us whatever you want. We'll provide you some non-professional advice.
Yeah, unsolicited advice from these two super awesome gals. It's going to be great. It's going to be a party. And you guys can reach us in several different means. We've got some social media. We've got an email. And then if you know us personally, you can ask us through our personal means of communication. So yeah, we want to hear from you guys as well. Can we also talk about what an insane start this was to this podcast and how this is take 4? And all of the various woes that we've gone through to get here.
Take 4. Honestly, I've wanted to cry. Like, honestly, I would have. This is the 4th time that we're trying to record this episode. The reason is because we tried so many different websites and softwares to download for Chris's Chromebook, and none of it worked.
Yeah, my computer is literally like the most ridiculous thing on the face of the planet. It's like if a tablet, an Android phone, and a laptop computer from 2005 procreated and got the worst of all features. That's pretty much what my computer
It sucks
is.
Because it's not even that.
It's not great.
It was that in combination of I had to get a laptop, period. I never had a laptop, and I just got one. I bought one from Microsoft, and the fucking thing, the screen started flickering after 2 days of use, and I was like
your brand new computer.
It's brand new.
Like your brand new computer that you just purchased.
It was the worst nightmare because I was like, this thing's almost $2,000. You're telling me that this screen is just going to start flickering after 2 days and give me a seizure? You're joking. So I sent it back. I mean, the customer support over at Microsoft is pretty great. Shout out to this guy named Cleveland who actually helped me for the entire process of getting a new one exchanged to me.
Shout out to Cleveland.
Yeah. So he sent me a new one. And then I sent the old one back. And the new one also had a fucking problem because it didn't like to connect, or it just won't connect to my network. It wasn't my Wi-Fi. It wasn't what I just was frustrated because I was like, this one's broken too. That's it. This one's broken. Also, I've been told my entire fucking life that everything I touch dies. So I'm like, at this point,
untrue.
At this point, it's fucked up. Like, I can't even begin to explain. So I restarted, or like factory restarted the entire thing, and it finally decided to work. So fingers crossed, this thing has a 1-year warranty that if it's gonna break on me, that it breaks within this first year. The only thing that we didn't have an issue with was getting our mics from Amazon. Like, honestly, this was like the
easiest thing. I think that was the thing I stressed out the most over. We did so much research. I asked a bunch of people. And then we ended up getting, like, we got everything. We were like, oh, this is like the hardest bit. It's over. Like, now we can just like plug and play. It'll be great.
Famous last words.
Hardly.
Yo, it was hard.
Definitely famous last words. Good Lord.
We MacGyvered the shit out of this.
This is all being held together right now with like chewing gum, some Paperclips, and Gumption. Like, that is just it.
And like a sprinkle of faith. Because, listen, this is our setup right now, okay? I've got Chris on Instagram video with my headphones plugged in, okay? She's got hers.
Yeah.
Our mic is then plugged into our laptops, which is then recording on two separate different audio recording things. I've got Audacity opened, and
Yes.
Chris has whatever she has for her Chromebook. This is the third platform that we're using to try to to get this to work, because the one thing that we were going, like, there's this website called Squadcast that we were going to be like, oh, hey, it's great. It's going to be like an upgraded Skype because Skype sucks balls. It was super laggy, didn't work for us. I want to see her face because she makes the most adorable faces while we talk.
My heart.
And it's going to record audio. The audio fucking sucked, okay? And then it was laggy as hell, and we couldn't use it. So thank God I unsubscribed to that.
Yeah.
And so this jerry-rigged little get-up here actually works. So shout out to Instagram, like, video chat. Zero lag, fucking flawless.
Killing
it. But that's what we're working with here. It is actually a miracle that any of this is working. So yeah, that's why I said the fourth time that we're recording this episode. It's ridiculous.
It was really funny because the one before this was like we were celebrating at the end of it. It was like a party. We were like, oh my God, it's all done. It's gonna be great. We're gonna get it up. Puneet's gonna be off our back.
Yes, hi Puneet. Our first fan.
What up, girl? What's up? What's good in the hood?
But 57 minutes later, it was complete shit. The audio we couldn't use on Chris's side.
Yeah.
And I was so bummed. Bummed.
It's okay. It's fine. You know what? We're like Asian overachievers. So like forget third time's the charm. Fourth time's the charm. It's fine.
I don't think that's how it works, but okay, I'm just going to run with it here.
Just run with it. It's fine.
All these things that didn't work out for us, it's going to be a story that we're going to look back. We're just going to look back on this and tell stories and just laugh, hopefully.
It's going to be great. On our 1 year anniversary of the podcast, we're just going to revisit this and we're going to cackle maniacally, and it's going to be wonderful.
Oh my goodness. I remember that time when we recorded the fucking episode 4 times. Yeah.
Yo, remember that time we almost dished out like 280 Canadian dollars on a platform that didn't work?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Well, a full mess.
Like, totally. But you know what? We're up and running. We've got this going. And the great thing is that we have people who wanted to ask those questions, actually. So let's jump into it. Let's do it.
Yeah. A really awesome part of this show that we wanted to talk about was offering our own advice to all of you folks. So again, we've got our social media, got our email. Come on down, ask us the questions. Let's hear what these fine folks have to say. What do they want to know?
I put out the question on my Instagram asking if anybody had questions or would like advice on anything. And we had a couple of people write in some questions.
Such a media mogul.
So the first person that wrote to me asked me, how do you know when a girl is interested in you? How do you know when she's into you? Well, Chris is single, and
I sure am.
Yeah, and Chris is celibate. For those who don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just fully outed. I love this.
Nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing to be ashamed of.
No, are you kidding me? It's like I love it. It's great. It's like it's good conversation starter because I always get like a double take when someone brings it up. They're like, "Excuse me, what?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. I don't do dick.
Wow. Yep. That's
or at least not yet. Not until marriage.
Yeah, exactly. Marriage. Yeah, I'm terrible. See, it's like if I'm in a situation where like I have to like show interest in something, I immediately have to pull out like my smart card. Like I need to be the smartest person in the room always because I'm like, look, I'm mentally superior to all of you people. Therefore, I win. But then again, in those situations, it's usually the people I'm trying to impress or the person I'm trying to like engage interest with is like someone that I want to connect with, probably professionally or like for friendship. Like I'm always like, yes, you are someone that I could potentially make something cool with. Let's talk. I need to show you how smart I am. And that's the only real time that I might like peacock a little bit. But otherwise, like I'm so terrible at like bad at signals. I'm bad at all of that. I just assume that everybody wants to be my friend, and like
who wouldn't?
I know, because I'm great. I'm just the most charming ray of sunshine on the face of the planet. That's so far from
There's
the truth.
no way that that's possible because you're from Toronto and all Toronto people are super bitter.
Exactly. I was going to say, I was like, I'm like the gloomiest person. I'm probably the brightest out of like all of the clouds of people that live in Toronto. Yeah, no, I like, I'm so bad at that. Like, I just want to be everyone's mom always. I'm like, here, let me take care of you. Like, the South Asian in me is like, I need to see you fed. I need to make sure that you're taken care of. And I need to make sure that like, you're like a plant to me. I need to give you a little bit of fertilizer and some sunshine and some water and watch you thrive. And that's like just how I am with everyone. So I've lost a lot of friends and a lot of dude friends specifically.
Got the wrong
who, like,
signal.
May have misread. Exactly. So like I'm it's always like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I just want to be your bro. My bad. Jay's game next week?
Oh,
like I'm
just friend zone to the max.
Always. So I'm like literally the worst person in terms of this because I'm like, I don't know how to like communicate like romantic interests.
I'm into you like a bro, but not romantically.
Dude, can I just be your bro? Like, I'll be your best bro. Like, let's go eat pizza. Let's go like watch a Jays game in a sports bar. Yo, let's eat nachos. Let's play Uno and let's hang out.
I can see how some guys could take it differently though, because you see, from what I remember in psychology class, men
Dr. Nikki
boys tend to go for somebody, maybe it's a subconscious thing, right? Like they'll probably try to go for somebody who is fitting in terms of that motherly figure because they want that and they're comfortable with that, right? Whereas same thing,
like Oedipus complex stuff, man.
Well, I mean, same thing with women. We, a lot of times, and I've heard that there are women who tend to go for guys that remind them of their father. I mean, like daddy issues, maybe, but part of it is the psychology behind, like just wanting to be with somebody that you're familiar with or has the same traits of somebody that you look up to or somebody that you're comfortable with, like father figure or mother figure. That's what I remember correctly. But then again, I never paid attention to school, so don't quote me on that.
Oh my God.
For me at least, I can't speak for all women, but for me at least, if I'm interested in you, you'll know. Like, first step is probably if I agreed to even go out with you. Like if you asked me on a date and we went out, I did the calculation in my head and I'm like, this guy is worth the time for me to give up something. Like, you know what I mean? Like I have to swap it out. Like that time I could be using to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give that up and give the time to you. So you must be worth something, right? If it's not in a situation where you're asking me out on a date and it's just like I saw you at a friend's party or you saw me at a friend's party and we started chatting and drinking or whatever, it's just the fact that maybe I can still hold a conversation with you for 5 minutes because I have the shortest attention span. I get bored really easily. TikTok videos are only a minute long, bro. I only have the mental capacity to hold so much information.
I'm crying. I still don't understand TikTok. Like I can't. I don't understand it.
You don't need to understand.
The storyteller in me just doesn't get it.
You don't need to understand. You just consume. Okay. You don't question.
So it's just suspension of disbelief. Okay, yes. Cool. Awesome.
So here we are. So let me go back and I'm like, yes. So for me, at least, if I'm interested in you, it means I'm still talking to you after 5 minutes. And then if we're on a date, I will intentionally laugh a little harder at your joke. I will laugh. Yeah. Huh. And honestly, if you're funny, that's it. You've got me. Like I'm all about the humor. Man. If we jive on that level, you're golden. Okay. So if you're making a joke and I think it's funny, the next thing I will do is I will intentionally touch you. Like maybe on your arm. Like I'll do a little brush or maybe I'll do a little like full palm action on the thigh for like a second and go, oh haha, that was fun. You know what I mean? Like I will show you that I'm interested.
Okay. See, I've had sort of a eureka moment because I feel like the mothering in me, like I always like want to reach out and like pat someone on the back or like pet someone on the head and yes, child, I support you in your dreams. Let me nurture you. And I'm realizing that maybe that's also a reason why.
So most of the guys that that you've skated here were like, oh, she's into me because she touched me. Because I'm assuming that a lot of girls do that. They'll do the little, touch. And then here goes Chris touching these guys and they're like, oh yeah, she's into me. And then you go, nah, bro, my heart is with Jesus.
Literally. Oh man, I've just been doing everything wrong my entire life. Well, this was eye-opening.
You just got schooled.
It's a learning curve for everyone. I totally did. I'm like a complete idiot when it comes to these things. Like I'm such a fool. It's ridiculous. Like someone has to fully like beat me over the head and be like, hello, yes, I am interested. I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm friends with you. Is that cool?
That's the most cringiest thing ever.
I'm like, I'm so sorry.
So hopefully that answers the question for you in terms of how do you know.
Thank you for educating all of us. Like, that was great.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know how other girls do it, but that's how I do it.
Excellent. I'm going to be super mindful.
Yeah. Or maybe some girls would just come out and they'll just say that I like you.
Yeah.
I like what's going on with your face. Like,
Your face. It's interesting.
Yeah, your face.
I feel like your genes and my genes might create something that is indestructible to human society. We should pursue this further.
That boy's gonna fucking run for the hills if you say that. Don't start with that, girls. Don't. Let's move on into the next question. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
The next question I got, kind of a cringy one for Chris, because I don't know how she'll react to this.
Yikes, I'm already cringing.
You might want to throw some holy water up in the air here.
Oh, lad.
This person asked, how do you know if a girl likes to be choked?
Oh, no.
So let me just say, not randomly choked in the street, you psychopaths, but like, in bed. I'm guessing this person is referring to the act of choking while in bed with someone.
Great. Uh-huh.
Chris, take it away.
Oh, God. I would imagine it's the same as, like, going to dinner and asking someone where they would like to eat. They would have to have an opinion about it. So you would just ask them a question?
Is that a sexual innuendo for eating someone out?
Oh, my God, Nikki. Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay, I guess not.
Oh, I'm so uncomfortable. No.
If the audience could only see how uncomfortable Chris is right now. Like, her face shows of pure disgust is hilarious.
I could feel my face going 8 shades of red right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Yikes.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep. Let me show you 50 Shades of Grey, baby.
No, absolutely not.
It should be consensual. Okay,
100%. Anything in the world should always be consensual.
Yes. I don't know about other girls, and I don't think that this is something that comes up often enough. What I think it should is you should vocalize what you want, right? I can't expect a guy to just know what I'm into or what makes me feel good or what I like if I don't tell him. What I've come to realize throughout my years of just learning about myself is that don't be ashamed of what you like. Men are not mind readers. They're not going to know what the fuck you want.
Jesus.
So tell them, right? They're not all geniuses, okay? Tell them what you want. Tell them what makes you feel good. If you like being choked, if you like your hair pulled, whatever, tell them. And if you think that it's not going to be as awkward if you don't make it awkward. If it's the first, time that you're sleeping with somebody and you like that, maybe guide them. I don't know, hold their hand towards your neck or something and give them a hint. They're not freaking rocket scientists, okay?
Or you have a honest conversation. Like, I would assume that is something that you would like lay out prior to anything happening. You would have this conversation and be like, hi, just so you know, these are the things that I enjoy. If you're comfortable, we can potentially try this out.
So the pure girl in Chris here probably would like a sit down dinner and
a contract where we both
and a
sign,
contract.
So there's no misunderstanding in any sort of situation.
Everything's written down.
Yes.
And it says
you may hold my hand for 5 minutes.
Consent to choking.
Absolutely. Yes. No. Let's relax here. Leave room for Jesus.
What do you mean, Chris? No, I want to know, like, how would you know, Chris? Like, you've never partaked in coitus. How do you know?
Like, well, I'm assuming, also equating it to, like, I don't like wearing turtlenecks because it feels uncomfortable to have something, like, tight around my trachea. I would assume it's the same sort of feeling with someone's bare hand. Like, I wouldn't want my oxygen supply being cut off. Like, I would imagine that that's an uncomfortable feeling. Like, I don't wear scarves that are tight for that reason.
So what you're saying is that potentially you're a dom.
Oh,
like the first time that you're going to partake in your sexual adventure, that you're going to be.
If I could crawl deeper into my sweater right now, I would. I'm so uncomfortable.
This is the goal, guys. This is the goal, to make Chris super uncomfortable with cringy questions.
Jesus Christ. This is fine.
Are you fine?
I'm not red in the face.
Are you really?
Uh-huh. I'm chilling. I'm fine.
She is downing that water bottle like no tomorrow, guys.
I'm like, if I could just put water in my mouth, that means I don't have to say anything, and I could just, like, we can move on to the next question.
Okay, next question it is.
This is my avoidance technique.
Okay. Well, somebody asked the question also, what is our take on social media? I think it's a very interesting question because social media has developed so much and so rapidly in the last couple of years. Just to think about the different platforms that are out there. We migrated from MySpace, Zanga, Asian Avenue.
Oh my God, MySpace.
to you've got Facebook that took over the world, then Instagram, and then don't forget Snapchat, because that was, I mean, it was there. It kind of died out now. I don't know about you, but it kind of died out for us here. For me, at least, I don't use Snapchat anymore. But then you've got now TikTok, which is super fast content that you just consume, like, rapidly. I think social media, it's damaging, but it's also, I don't know. Chris, what do you think?
I feel like I'm the worst person to ask about technology and computers and all of that stuff. Like, I was really late getting MySpace. I was really late to the show getting Facebook. I only recently got Twitter. Like, I'm like 8 years too late for that.
I don't have Twitter.
Literally follow, like, I only use Twitter, like, to follow the Toronto police and, like, Toronto 311. So, like, I know if anything, like, is going down in the city. Those are the only, like, accounts I follow. I only, like, recently, and when I say recently, I mean, like, in the last 3 years, got Instagram. Like, I'm terrible at social media. I still use Facebook to, like, write dumb, witty thoughts, to, like, promote comedy shows, to promote my friends' art, and their comedy shows and their podcasts. Personally, like, I take pictures of other people. I show off other people. I don't really use it for myself, or, like, to the extent that some people are, like, super knowledgeable and savvy with it. I do see, like, with the kids that I work with, and by kids I mean, like, they're 18, 19 years old, but they're, like, so submerged in their worlds, like, with Snapchat, I think they're using Snapchat. Maybe they're using something else. I don't know. I'm too old for this. But, like, sending pictures back and forth to each other.
We're the same fucking age.
I know, but, like, I literally was, like, born a 40-year-old woman, and I'm, like, 80 at this rate.
Oh, God.
But I'm, like, 80 years old with a heart condition. This is what I feel like sometimes.
You're 80-year-old with an autoimmune disease is what it is.
You're not wrong. Both those things are accurate. Yeah, but, like, I see how much they need that day to day, and, like, they check out so often. Like, even having conversations, I'll see, like, a phone come up, like, in their peripheral vision while I'm having a conversation with them. Like, come on, guys, focus. Let's have like a real human connection for 2
I
seconds.
think the attention span of the regular human being has definitely diminished because of social media.
Oh, 100%.
And the content that we consume really does take like a toll on us as beings that are very easily influenced. And this is why they use the word influencer, like social media influencer, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You're emulating a lifestyle that a lot of these prepubescent teens are that they want, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not like some people even outright come to say that I don't dress a certain way to get attention from men. I dress a certain way so that younger girls walking down the street will look at me and be like, "Oh, her outfit is so cool," or whatever it is. And it catches the attention of the younger audience because they're like, hey, I have the means to go and purchase whatever it is that these people are selling or talking about to feel like I fit in or to feel like they're a part of something, right? That is the mentality.
It's like modern day high school.
Yeah.
It's like modern day high school, like on like steroids. Cause like I remember like buying the band t-shirts like in high school to like fit in with like the weird, music kids or the weird theater kids. Like I remember doing all that, but I almost feel like if someone online is pictured with something, like that's the reason, like even in the store that I work in, like our head office sends influencers in all the time to promote our brands. And we have a lot of customers come in being like, I saw this influencer post about this thing. We want it too. So it's very bizarre to like see that mirroring effect based on like a 15-second Instagram story or a post with like a bunch of likes. Like it's weird to see that. It's almost like it's like the popular girl in the high school hallway, being like, oh my god, I just got this lip smacker Dr. Pepper chapstick. Oh my god, it's like my favorite thing. Oh my god. And then every girl who wants to be her, date the captain of the football team. It's like, oh my god, I need to go to Shoppers and get this right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of interesting now too how they use that. Like there are these people that are famous on Instagram or whatever. They'll go to hotels and they'll be like, hey, sponsor me. Give me a free week stay or whatever. I'll post pictures for you. I have this and this many followers on Instagram or on Twitter, and I'll promote your hotel or whatever it is, right?
The boldness.
Not everybody gets, like, if you're like, when you get a certain amount of fame, you have that feeling that you could ask for that. But the real successful ones, I think there are companies that want to sponsor, that they'll actively come to you.
Yes. Yeah, because like you have a certain amount of pull, you have a certain amount of visibility. Your brand will get out there.
There are certainly, I've read articles where there are, like, I don't know if it's mediocre influencers or whatever it is, maybe they're on a different level, but they'll go and ask for these freebies because they have a certain, presence. And they'll want to get all these things, which is actually kind of ridiculous.
That, like, oh my god, the idea of that's bold.
It is actually, it's making, a part of me is a little bit frustrated because knowing that there are younger kids that are not, that haven't established who they are as a person yet, that could be very vulnerable in who they are and what they want to grow up to be like.
Yeah.
It certainly will take a toll on them. They'll be like, I want to look a certain way. I want to be a certain way. I want to act a certain way because this person that I follow on Instagram does this and I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially like in the formulation of like you as a whole person, like to not see yourself as yourself, but see yourself through the lens of like filters of people and filters of all of these images that you're taking in so rapidly. It's like you're becoming a tessellation of all of these like bebe micro influences. It's a little disheartening because I know I had to go through my weird phase to get to the...
Everybody has to go through their fucking weird phase.
You have to go through that. Like, that's how you build yourself as a human being. You gotta have that weird, kooky phase. But now I feel like all of these, like, young girls are getting, like, their eyebrows done, like, super young, and, like, not wearing braces, and, like, not having, like, really crazy, weird hair. Like, all of these girls are, like, growing up and like looking super beautiful. I'm like, guys, come on, be weird, be a little bit weird, have your weird phase, just a
It
little bit.
definitely helps you grow into an individual, because I think what they have is like pack mentality, right? Like, I want to be a
Yes.
part of this. I got to act a certain way. I got to look a certain way so that I can belong. But if you didn't have your awkward phase like we did as 90s kids, early
Yeah.
90s kids back in high school, I don't know, but I went from super fob. So I was born in Vancouver, but the fob in me came out, man. I had a fob phase, and then I had an emo phase where literally I spent every
So did
yo,
I.
get this. I wore black, like all black, like heavy eyeliner, freaking like
Oh yeah.
dark lipstick on
Did you have the
Valentine's Day.
bangs?
I did have the bangs. On Valentine's Day
Yes.
every year, I called it Single Awareness Day. Bro,
Yep.
you got to go through all of that to
Yeah.
learn more about who you are as a person. I'm seeing now, holy shit, like 15-year-olds that look like, they do makeup way better than I do. They, dress provocatively, or they just have like a sense of style already like,
Yeah, like they look so fashion. Like I can't look like that in my day-to-day life. I can't look like that getting dressed up.
yeah. And there's nothing
It's
wrong with that.
heartbreaking.
Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just more like, are you doing this because it makes you feel comfortable that you emulate somebody that you saw on Instagram, or have you come to this conclusion yourself that this is how you want to look like, how you want to present yourself, and who you are as a human being, and how you want other people to see you?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm really hoping that like there's going to be this overwhelming like acceptance of self soon. Like there's a lot of icons like Lizzo's out there like preaching self-acceptance consistently, and I'm really hoping there's like a lot more of that, just like a strict juxtaposition to like everything that's happening currently with like influencer lifestyle. I'm like, yeah, we need more of that. We need more people embracing their weird and embracing their strange. So you just become a weird, whole, strange person.
Yeah. I think that's also why podcasts with people just talking to each other, the long format of just normal people talking is rising in popularity, because they want to hear what normal people are like. There's
Yeah.
always this segment in the magazine that, oh, the stars, the celebrities, they're just like us.
They're just like us.
Regular things, like, and there's like always a segment where like this person gained weight, like, oh my god, or this person went through a breakup and like rage, and like screamed out in rage in public or whatever. Dude, that's all normal
Yeah.
stuff, right? And you put these people
That's
on a
normal.
pedestal, and that's why you're like, oh, they can do no wrong, right? But when
Yeah.
you break it down, it's comforting to have somebody, or to see somebody who's in their natural state of who they are as a person, no makeup or whatever it is, whether it be Miley Cyrus not shaving her armpits on the red carpet, or Lizzo being super body positive, right? Or now
Yeah.
Adele came out to with a bunch of, like, she lost about 100 pounds after her divorce.
Jesus, really?
And she looks,
Good for
she
her.
looks great, right? There's always going to be
Yeah.
that side that's just like, oh, she, everybody gets skinny in Hollywood or whatever. You know what? I think that if
If
she
it makes
did
her
it,
happy, it makes her happy.
exactly, it makes her happy. She went through a divorce or whatever, and she's healthy, she's happy. Fuck it. Just keep
Let her live her best life.
yeah, I know. Keep your business to yourself. Like, don't don't stick your nose in everything, right? And if you
Yeah.
do that, you self-reflect more and you think about yourself, you try to improve yourself more. That's what's going to make you happy. Instead of looking at outside and being like, "Oh, they have this, they look like this. I don't." Right? That's just going to cause so much doubt in who you are as a person. It's going to tear
Yeah.
you down eventually. And us being in quarantine already, there's not a lot of social interaction. There's a lot of people who are struggling because, like, with depression, just for the sheer fact of not being able to go out, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know I've been trying to actively check on people. I mean, I'm thriving in my quarantine. I was built for this. If I could be a hermit, like in the woods, like Ernest Hemingway, writing, axing wood, and just like building a cabin, and then no one bothers me ever, like I would be so chill with that. But not everyone is thriving. Not everybody is like me. So I've been trying to make the active attempt to like send care packages via Amazon Prime to people and send dumb cat gifts to people, because who doesn't love a good dumb cat gif? Those are always good fun.
We're pro cat here at Edit to Real.
Yes, we are pro cat. Nikki has a great little munchkin cat.
Yes.
He's very low to the ground. Yes, I've nicknamed him Lowrider.
It's awesome. It's awesome because I didn't even think about that. And I love cars. I didn't even think about calling him Lowrider. His name's Bubba.
Lowrider.
Yeah, his name's Bubba. He's a munchkin. Basically, that's like the corgi of cats, or like a wiener dog, but cat form. Like they've got the shortest legs. And my thought process was, if I got a cat with short legs, they wouldn't be able to like jump up on top of my counters and stuff. But no, he still does it. They find a way. They find a way.
I mean, if there's a will, there's a way with cats. It's like boxes and like ledges. Like that's what they love.
My cat's a little different though. Like he's more of a dog than a cat. Like I actually have a leash for him. Like he has a harness. I take him out for walkies. He waits by the door when I come home and he greets me. And
I take him out for walkies.
I do. I have a video of him going on a walk. So if you follow us on our Instagram, we'll post it there.
Yes, follow us at Edit to Real on Instagram, edit 2 Real.
And on Twitter. We have a Twitter as well.
And on Twitter. Yeah, and then you can submit your questions there. You can ask us all of the things. We'll have all of that there, and then we'll post some videos. It's going to be super fun. It's going to be great.
Yeah. We don't have a Facebook page because I just thought that that's not in the loop anymore. We only have I'm not going to be the one in charge of Twitter. Chris is, so
it's gonna be really fun because I know nothing about Twitter.
Please post the most cringiest questions.
No,
all the cringiest questions, please write to us on Twitter. But all the normal questions, you're welcome to email us at edit2realpodcast@gmail.com, edit with the number 2 podcast@gmail.com, and follow us on Instagram.
Yes,
we're posting random content.
And tell all your friends.
Oh yeah,
tell all your friends. Tell them. We want them to join us in this ridiculous adventure.
Support us. So, we're like, the Canadian versions of, whatever your favorite female podcasts, American female podcasts are. I don't know any, but we're the Canadian version. We're the nicer version. Exactly.
We're the more wholesome version. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be a riot for sure.
Well, I might die of embarrassment, but it's gonna be fine.
Oh no, it's okay. One day I'm gonna screenshot like just Chris's face, like when she is the most uncomfortable state.
My Hobbit Muppet face. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be hilarious. Write to us with all your questions, and we'll do our research or not. We'll draw on our life experiences or not, and we'll be glad to answer your questions. Or even if you have just a topic that you want us to talk about, shoot it our way.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. We can't wait to hear from you. We can't wait to hang out with you guys. Yeah, This is our first episode.
This is it. We're going to wrap up our first episode.
And we're going to celebrate at an appropriate time once we get it set up. Because, 4 times a charm.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say let's break open a bottle of champagne, but you don't drink. So I guess apple cider.
Don't jinx it yet.
No,
ginger ale.
Oh, yes. I'm down for ginger. Oh, see? That'd be great.
Yes. There we go.
Stay at home, guys. Listen to us every Tuesdays. Thank you for tuning in. Stay real.
Stay real.